I'm here today at the Office of Hawaiian Affairs in Honolulu with Clyde Namuo, who is the CEO of the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. Clyde.
Hi, Mark.
Hi. And Clyde, why don't you tell us a little bit about the Office of Hawaiian Affairs and its mission?
Sure. The Office of Hawaiian Affairs is a state agency. We were created by a constitutional amendment back in 1978, and in 1980 the first board of trustees was actually organized. We are unique in the 50 states because we are a state agency that was organized specifically to work for the betterment of Native Hawaiians, which is of course the indigenous population here in the state of Hawaii. So our mission is extremely broad, and part of our funding as a state agency comes from the state legislature. We are also fortunate enough to receive revenues off of the use of ceded lands. That accounts for about a third of our budget, and we also have an investment portfolio, and our earnings off of the investment portfolio also helps to fund the various programs that we have. So though we don't have an unlimited supply of resources, it is very important that all the money that we do spend to work for the betterment of the people in our community is spent very wisely.
Clyde, how long have you been the CEO?
This August will be 10 years.
Very good. And we began working with you, I think, in 2008.
That's right.
When you decided to develop a new strategic plan. Could you tell us a little bit about the
Sure.
plan?
When I started here at OHA in 2001, the organizational structure that I adopted was based on subject matter.
Mm-hmm.
So we had groups that concentrated on economic development, on education, and on health, and etc. And as the years went on, it became clearer that we were probably not as effective or as efficient in making systemic changes to the lives of our constituents as we could be. And so in 2008, we really decided that it was time to revamp the strategic plan that had been developed and adopted almost by then 8 years prior. So the process that we went through, as you know, Mark, in gathering data, doing focus groups, was really intended to give us greater direction in terms of how we might develop a strategic plan that would really work towards systemic change in our community. And I'm very pleased with the results so far.
Terrific. Well, Clyde, we have never worked with an organization that built their strategic plan on as extensive public input as you use. My memory is that over 3,000 members of the Native Hawaiian community gave input into the decisions that you made about the plan. So the plan has been, I think, in effect, a little over a year.
Yes.
And you've decided to use managing for results as the approach to implementing the plan. What effect have you seen so far?
I think generally we find that the staff has really embraced this concept that whatever work we do, we want to make sure that we end up with results. And it's been a really a new way of thinking for us. In the past, I think people have worked very hard and hoped that the good and hard work that we did made a difference in our community. But without actually knowing what the results have been or are, it's really difficult to say whether or not we've made a difference or not. So I think the managing for results concept will give us greater direction, because our goal is to make sure that every dollar that we spend is accounted for.
Indeed. Clyde, as you look ahead, now you're really moving into the second year, and you're making plans right now for what you're going to accomplish over the duration of the strategic plan, which is the next 5 years. As you look ahead, what impact do you see this approach to management having on your relationship with the community?
I think people will have a greater appreciation for the work that the Office of Hawaiian Affairs is doing. I think the community will actually have a greater understanding of what we are striving to do. So the challenge for us right now is to communicate to our community exactly what managing for results means. And certainly the demands will be significant, because once you put yourself out there that you are really striving for results, people will expect to know, so what have you really achieved?
Mm-hmm.
What are those results that you have strived to accomplish? And that's going to be challenging.
That's very challenging. And Clyde, just for the sake of our viewers who may not have had really any experience with the Native Hawaiian community, how important is it that your community support what you're doing?
Well, like many indigenous communities throughout the United States, Native Hawaiians are a culture that is very different than the traditional Western culture. Our people are a little suspicious of the Western ways in some regards. Some of our Native Hawaiian communities are in rural areas here in the state of Hawaii, so they are somewhat skeptical. And when you work with the Native Hawaiian community, it is very, very important that they believe you, that they trust you, that they have confidence that what you are telling them is the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So I think those are some of the challenges, but it also, those demands make us better at what we do. And yes, it is very challenging to work with Native Hawaiians, but at the end of the day, it's extremely rewarding as well.
Very good. Clyde, it's been impressive to watch how you've clarified the roles of the organization in terms of advocacy and research and asset management, and how you forged literally a new organization, a newly designed organization, newly staffed, newly led organization to implement your strategic plan. It's really a remarkable accomplishment.
Thank you. Thank you. It's exciting for the staff as well. I think the new strategic plan has brought new energy to the staff. I've always felt that people who come to work here at the Office of Hawaiian Affairs do it as more of a mission than simply as a job. They do it because they want to make a difference in our community. And it really then is our duty to give them guidance and to help them do the very best that they can. And so I've been very pleased because again, systemic change is the way to go. And we want to make sure that these changes will be around 5 and 10 years from now. So.
It's really your legacy.
Let's hope.
Let's hope. Thank you, Clyde.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.